Good morning, Janio. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. A bit warm.
It's
We're all a bit
much,
this morning, aren't we?
Yeah. It's one to stay in the cool. So maybe just do like a little bit of prep. So maybe you don't have to move that much.
Yeah. I know ladies that sit and sew in their underwear in weather like this because it's just too warm.
The tree surgeons came today to do a tree survey on all our trees.
Oh, right.
Yeah, one of them is Ginger. He's like, I'm not looking forward to today. Today it's not made for people of my colouring.
No.
No,
if you're fair-skinned, you're going to suffer.
So he was getting out and doing his work early. So good morning to you. I hope that you are safe and well, everybody. Jane, you have brought us a beauty this morning.
It's rather lovely, isn't it?
I loves him very, very, very much.
We've been wanting to do this for a while, I think, haven't we? Well, I know I have.
Yes.
Because we both rather love hares, don't we?
So is that on my chin? Yes, absolutely. There's just something majestic. I always feel really privileged when I see a hare. I was out walking the other night when it was really cool because Ruben struggles in the heat.
Yeah.
And I just caught a glimpse of one just in the field, and it was like frozen. It wasn't going to move.
No.
I was like, I know what's going on there.
My mum's got a family that live at the bottom of her lane.
Oh,
so quite often when you come out in the evening to drive home, there'll be one sitting in the lane looking at you, and you're just like, please move.
Oh, they just
sit and watch it forever.
And they leave their young, don't they? They leave them in the fields.
Yeah.
I mean, they come back for them.
Yeah, and they don't burrow either.
No. I don't know where they live then if they don't burrow.
They tend to sort of sit in the furrows of the ploughed field, which is why you tend to see them a lot after harvest.
Oh, because they're home.
Because they've been displaced.
Oh.
There was a movement by farmers to start ploughing from the middle out, so that they harvesting from the middle out, so that they wouldn't catch any of the young in their plough when they were mowing.
Yeah.
Because then they can go out towards the hedges.
And did they?
I don't know whether it carried on. I think some conscious farmers do. It's difficult though when you've got a great big combine.
Gemma says Moon-Gazing Hare symbolise good fortune and abundance. Well, we like this.
Yeah, we do.
And Gemma also says that she was working in her bikini yesterday. So, you know.
Nice job if you can get it.
Yeah.
We were sweating in the warehouse.
We were not in our bikinis.
No. That is not a view that many people would like to see of me, I'm afraid. Including myself.
It's lovely. So this morning, is this an easy make, difficult make? What are we looking at?
It's very straightforward. It's all strip piecing and a bit of applique.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. We're limited on kits for this. There's one fabric, isn't there? We didn't go with a stark black for him, did we?
No, we've gone with this lovely, it's cottage cloth. It's Macawa's cottage cloth. So, and Hoover's. Sandover, isn't it? Cottage cloth. Which is like a linen texture, and it's that very deep midnight blue.
So it's softer.
Yeah, we didn't want the starkness of the black, really. I think gives it a more softer approach.
So this is the kit. This is everything that you get.
This is a really generous kit. Really generous. You're going to be able to make, I don't know, 3 or 4 if you use a different. You've got enough of the blue, the deep blue, to do the backing of the cushion if you want to make it into a cushion. But the strip piecing, you could make several fronts with this.
Hang on. So, but presumably you could strip the back as well then, couldn't you?
Yeah, well you could use another fabric, couldn't you? Or
lovely.
Whatever you wished to do.
Lovely. Gemma says he looks more moonlit in the cottage cloth, she thinks, than if we're done in black.
Yes, I think the black's probably a little bit too heavy, isn't it? Too stark.
Possibly. I have hairs in my toilet. I've got really dark blue walls, and there's an artist near us that does just like copper on slate.
Beautiful.
And so the hairs are in copper, and it's on a slate background. They're really beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know how it does it, but it's very, very beautiful. So they are a firm favourite, absolutely. We've got the kits we've got. When they're gone, they're gone. The other thing today is we have done our cutting for the Fat Quarter Frenzies. We're getting the rest of those out.
Yeah.
And I've seen if I can do any extras. So there are some extras and they are loaded. If you've had them, and thank you, by the way, for your incredible feedback on them. I mean, we knew that they were incredible kits, which is why Gemma fought me all the way.
Yes.
You are insane, you are mad. But, yeah.
They're incredible value, absolutely amazing. Beautiful fabrics.
Yes.
That's the feedback we've had from
so many people.
Lots of people.
Now, all I would say is, because we are getting to the end of them, if you are buying multiples, you might get some repeats. I've been so careful so far to make sure there's no repeats in anything. But as we get to the last ones, there, if you are buying multiples, and you can, there might just be some repeats. And also, if you are buying again, I can't guarantee you won't get the same pattern or whatever. It just because we haven't kept. It has truly been a lucky dip.
Yeah.
Like I did boxes and boxes and boxes, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then we just picked them from that.
Packed them as they arrived in the box, sort of thing, didn't we? Yeah.
And we had people go, "Did you pick this just for me?" It's like I'd
I'd
like to say yes,
but
in
but
all
no.
honesty means I have to say it came out of the box. But we're glad that you loved it.
Yes.
So if the last of those are up if you would like them. And then we have the hares. So we're keeping it simple today. It's too hot to be.
It's too hot to be.
Yeah, doing lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. So forgive us, simple creatures. we are doing our best. The kids did not look impressed having to go to school today at all.
No, but you know, it's life, isn't it?
We had to do it.
We had to all go to school when it was.
We're just not quite set up for it, are we?
No, we're not set up for any extreme temperature or anything, are we really? We're just.
I said to Freddie, "What did you do yesterday?" He said, "Nothing." He said, "We didn't have to do anything." So that was good. Excellent.
It's nice to know that your education is being kept up. It's got to the end of the term, haven't they? And they're just like counting down the days.
The end of primary school.
Yeah.
So they they've done their stats. That was the big push.
Yeah, that's it now.
And now they do whatever they want.
He'll go to senior school and he'll be a completely different boy. He'll be a young man. You have to make the most of the cuddles now because you never know when it's going to be your last one.
He is very cuddly. He is still very cuddly, for which I'm very grateful. Let's make this make then, Jane.
Okay. Look, this is all of the stuff that I had left over, and I've done 2 kits out of mine.
Oh, wow. Oh, we were generous.
So we have been very generous with the kit. Because you really only need to start with a 2-inch strip from each of your fat quarters, long quarters. Long quarters. You've got 10 long quarters, grading from your dark green through to your dark blue. You've got a 5-inch square of the white silver dashwood twist fabric. It's a metallic silver, and you really can't see it on the camera. It's really difficult to show, but it's got a little dot of metallic silver on there. That's for your moon. You've got 1/2 metre of your cottage cloth, which, as I said, will do the back as well as the front of your cushion, should you be making a cushion. And then you'll have 1/2 metre of bondlewood, which is really far more than you need as well.
But it's there.
But it's there because you'll always use it.
Well, the thing is, then you can always do a series.
Yeah.
And this is what we would like to. I'd like to do a leaping hare. And then if you want to do it in the same colours, then you can. Just keep hold of it. Gemma also says that the 100% cotton plains that we've included in the bundle are available to be purchased by the 1/2 metre and are tagged in today's collection. If anybody wants extra for backings or sashings or wall hangings or anything else. She's also tagged in today's show the last of the crazy deals that we had on Friday. So there's a mega deal where you get a trio of printed instructions, which is the wax spread bag, the food wraps, and the next level food wraps, plus 3 100 gram bags, so 300 grams of organic beeswax pellets. So it's basically 100 grams for each of those mates, which will do you a lot.
Yeah.
And then the other crazy deal was the Ever Ready Shopper. Do you remember the Ever Ready Shopper?
Yes.
That we did. Josh was absolutely thrilled. We did it in like a ripstop, didn't we?
Yes.
But actually, when those cotton lawns came in last week, I was like, that would be so beautiful.
Yes, it would, wouldn't it?
So we've done 2.5 meters with your elastic and your toggles. They're the ones that, you know, you scrunch up into a little bag that, well, actually my children just use as things to hit each other with. But yeah.
Yeah.
They look like little strawberries.
Yes, they do.
And then you've always got a shopping bag there.
Yeah.
Because a shopping bag that you're ever ready with. Hence the name, Ever Ready.
Always good to have them in your handbag, in the car, wherever, when you need it.
But there's £13
You
off
just
that
nip
kit.
to the shop and you don't want to...
£13, Jane, off that.
That's really good.
So if you would like, well, we had a few toggles left over, so it's like, right, okay, we can absolutely make that happen. So if you would like those, please do make the most of those. They were on the Friday deals. If you look at your newsletter, it's always worth having a rummage through the deals page. You never quite know what you're going to find.
Yeah, there's always some good deals in there.
Yeah.
Right, you're going to get a template with your hair. You're going to trace that onto the paper side. When you get your bonder web, you'll feel it. It's got like a rough side and a paper side. The rough side is the adhesive and the paper side is a paper protective film that holds it all together. So you trace around your template. And then I would recommend just trimming it back. Here's some paper scissors. What paper scissors?
No, they're not paper scissors.
No, they're not.
No.
There's usually a pair floating around.
I don't know where they've gone. They're in the warehouse. You want me to go and look for them?
Doesn't matter. We can, you can rip it, but you have to be careful that you don't rip it around you.
30% Jane of the hair kits have gone already.
Oh wow. It's just because you don't want to have your adhesive on all over your fabric, so just trim it back. I usually trim it to sort of like nearly 1/4 inch away from the drawing, but not on the line.
Okay.
Don't do it on the line, purely because you need that little bit of extra. What happens when you apply heat to bonder web is that the adhesive spreads. So if you cut it on your drawn line and then apply it to your fabric, the adhesive won't go right to the edge of the shape.
Okay.
So that's why we cut around the edge. I'm just going to put the Teflon sheet over the top just to protect the...
We've
I
got
don't
some
think
Teflon
this is-
sheets. Oh, do you want to use the little, or do you need some steam?
I don't need steam, but I don't think it's plugged in, is it? I don't know.
Is it
I
turned
don't
on?
know. Yeah, I've switched it on. I can't see it.
That one doesn't work. It's the little travel one that's the good whizzy one.
Can't see it.
Don't you can find it.
I'm quite blind. We're having this sort of situation, aren't we, at the moment? I'm like, Natasha, can you come and look for this? Because I can't see anything. It's like,
Well, when you stood looking at it, it makes me
It's
giggle.
like-
It does make me giggle.
this one right here, I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be it.
That one. It's in my iron drawer, Jane. There you go.
Who knew? There was
What,
such
that
a
I have
thing.
an iron drawer. Because I have so many, I seem to have a thing about irons. I've never managed to have is it an Alicio that I haven't killed? And yet everybody else raves about them.
Yeah, but you're notorious for wearing irons out.
Yeah.
Because you use them up.
Yeah, and I leave them on. And yet this little travel one has been absolutely brilliant. We've got it in pink as well, on a ridiculous price.
I've got one of these as well for my own when I go to workshops and things because it's handy.
Yeah.
It's handy.
Yeah, we've got it in pink. Do you want to sit and show? I can show you, shouldn't I? Because it comes in with a travel bag and everything. It's
got the little silicone mat in it as well too. And it heats up quite quickly and it does get very warm. It's got a little spray bottle with it as well, so that you can either put your best press or flatter in there, or a bit of water if you want to. Just damp your fabric over, because it's not a steam iron, but it's got this gorgeous little case, look.
For £30 or whatever they are insane value for money.
And they've got dual wattage, haven't they? So look, you've got your little spray bottle. You've got your cable.
You've only got the hot pink ones left.
Yeah. And then it's got the switch there, so like if you were over in America, you could switch it over to the lower wattage. And the handles just come there like that.
When I got married in Vegas, I got married in this country and then got married in Vegas, I took my...
And the little silicone protective mat.
I took my hair straighteners and everything with me, not realising, of course, about the dual thingies. Of course, they didn't work.
No.
So I had to get married with fuzzy hair.
Most annoying.
So that's brilliant that's got that. It's a really well thought out piece of kit. I really, really rate it. And I can't believe we actually have any left. It's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I just think it's lovely because it's very neat and compact, and that'll just sit in your suitcase or in your workshop bag.
Yeah.
Really tidy. Nicely.
We digress, Jane.
We do.
It's unusual for us,
While we wait
isn't it?
for the iron to warm up.
Doesn't actually take that long, does it?
No, it's done now.
It's a good one.
You can see there was a bit of glue on there, so that's a good job I used the Teflon mat. And you'll do the same thing with your moon shape. You'll trace that around. It's a circle, so if you don't want to use a template and you just want to draw around a reel of sellotape or a cup, or get your compass out and draw a circle, you can do that. But we have put the template for the circle on there. So you then cut around your shape on the actual line. Get yourself a nice pair of sharp scissors. These are not my best fabric scissors, but they're still very sharp.
They're incredibly good, those
I
ones.
love these ones because they do go right to the end. So they're really great for like small, intricate piecings, particularly when you're doing a plique, because you might have small pieces like you do with the eye on the hare. Now, you don't have to cut out the eye of the hare. You could leave him just as a silhouette. I don't think he'd look any the worse for it. Let your bonder web just cool slightly before you start cutting it out, and that way it should set. The adhesive should set. And then you're just going to cut your shape out.
Let's see who's here, shall we, Jane? We've got Martine's with us, Claire's with us, Lo's here. She's here but not here.
Oh right, she's working.
Yeah. Anne's here, still damp from overnight deluge. Oh, you're just showing off now, Anne.
Oh,
But all
whereabouts are
drying
you,
out
Anne?
and heat here in Glasgow.
Oh, Glasgow.
Yeah, the sun's not out yet there yet. Claire says it's lovely and cool in the woodland caravan site near Kendal. Sorry, not sorry. And your mum says, are we going to get a download version of the pattern? Yes, hopefully coming soon. I have sent all of the templates across to Gemma. That's all they're waiting for. Is the cotton lawn strong enough for a shopper? It just seems so thin. Anne, let me give you my splurge on, my spiel on cotton lawn. So cotton lawn is a thinner cotton, yes. But what that means is that the thread count is generally much higher. Isn't that right, Jane?
Yeah, so it's a lot stronger.
It's actually much stronger than your normal cotton. And this is, I used to make that mistake. And I only found out when I was shopping for a shirt on a website, and they gave a lifetime guarantee on their cotton lawn only shirts. And so I did a little bit of digging as to why, and found out, yeah, it's because the thread count is so much higher because it's so much thinner, but it actually makes it much, much stronger. So yes, and that is exactly why we are recommending it for those shopping bags. We don't want to steer you wrong. Nikki's here. Morning. Can't watch today or tomorrow, but we'll catch up soon. That's all right, Nikki. Come back soon. Fiona's here. Morning, lovely peeps. Here but working.
There's a lot of people here but working.
Yeah.
We don't mind. We'll keep quiet.
Laura says, is yesterday's see-through bag in digital form on the website yet? No. Please give us extra time to get the digitals up. There are more steps that need to happen for that. But there will be. It will be up at some point soon, hopefully.
This is when you find pointed scissors come in really handy for just this intricate little bit around the foot, and as I say, to do the eye.
Yeah. Deb says it's gorgeous.
Thank you, Deb.
Joy's a bit late, but she's here. Oh, Kirsty's rethinking her life choices of yoga tonight. Hot yoga. I mean, hot yoga is a very popular thing, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just probably just do the meditation part. Just lie quietly.
Yes. Yes.
Channeling the energy through to your
chakras.
Mind and spirit. You'll be fine. Now, to do the eye, shall we go close up on this? This is where I'll cut through all the fabrics and make a mess of it.
Oh, now there's a positive thing to say. If you're lucky, he's not going anywhere. If you don't want to cut out the eye, Jane,
you could just leave him, look, because he's beautiful, just like that.
Hang on, I'll just change the...
Oh, sorry. He is beautiful like just like that. You don't need to do the eye.
He is.
So if you really feel like you don't want to try that, then you don't need to.
Do you need me overhead again?
But we can just snip into just a little snip. This is why the pointy scissors are just perfect, because that goes right in. And then it's just a case of getting your scissors in there and just very carefully snipping around that shape. It's not the most interesting television, is it, this?
You know, there's something quite therapeutic about it.
Just tiny little snips, because you can always go back and trim it back if you've cut it not quite big enough, but you can't put it back once you've cut it. And what
very true.
I found was I cut round the shape on this side, on the paper side, and then I went back to the front of the fabric and just gave it a look, and maybe just trimmed a few, just like that, just trimmed a little bit off here and there just to make it a little tidier from the right side of the fabric, as it were. Just getting those odd little threads. And there he is, ready to go. So, you'll have your two applique pieces ready to apply. You're going to cut your strips. Now when you're sewing strips together, to prevent the strips curving. Now, once I'd cut the strips, I cut the width of the fabric, I cut them in half. You know when your fabric's folded, it's folded along, that's how it goes on the bolt. You've got a fold there and your selvage this side.
Yeah.
So I just cut the strip along that fold there, because I don't need the full strip at this point. So I'd got 10 strips that were half width, sort of fat quarter width if you like, 21ish by 2. And then you've got your other set of strips, and I cut those ones in half as well. And from the one half of that, the quarter if you like, I cut a couple of each of the squares, the strips into squares, because you're going to need additional squares for that final frame on the outside. And then you're going to sew the other strips together, but I'll explain about that in a moment. So sewing strips together, sew them together in pairs, sew them in one direction, all of those strips in one direction. I tend to put my salvages together and sew in that direction, so that I've got them all sewn in the same way. And you can strip piece that, you can start at one pair and keep going. Then I'll sew them together into 4, press them open with the seam to one side. Then I'll sew them into 4s, and then I sew that from the opposite end that I sewed my pairs. This just prevents the strips curving. We call it bananaing, but we just curve. So, I mean, obviously I've chosen my layout. You might want to choose your layout slightly differently, and that's entirely up to you, but that's what you can do. So I've got 2 lots of 4 and a pair. So what I'll do is I'll sew this pair onto here. So just lining those up, and it's just a straight stitch along the edge, keeping the edges together. You can pin it if you want to, if you feel more confident by pinning them.
What is stunning visually impact, like a simple cushion but the visual impact.
Yeah.
Is just stunning, and she's quite right. If you've just joined us, we're doing a hair today. Hair today gone tomorrow, Jane. It's 7 cars.
So just press the seam back to one side. You might want to press them open. I don't think it really matters on this project. I just like my seams pressed to one side. And I've pressed them all the same way so they're all going in the same direction. Because it's not like we're doing a bargella or anything, and we need the seams to nestle, so.
Well, over 50% of the hair kits are gone, Jane.
Brilliant.
In half an hour.
And then we're going to press that. We've got that set of 6 and then the set of 4, and we'll just join that together. So again, it's just a case of lining them up really, because you're going to trim it off level anyway, so you don't have to worry too much that they don't all match up exactly. It never ceases to amaze me that you can have fabric from the same collection, same designer, and the width of the fabrics can be different.
It's insane, isn't it?
Madness.
Presumably it's been manufactured in the same place, all that stuff. And yet.
So we'll give that a press.
Oh, now, your cork scrap bags have now all arrived. So we're working our way back through any orders that had them from the other day whilst Jane fights with fabric. What are we going to do on today's show? We'll just watch Jane
Fighting with fabric.
Fighting with fabric. So if you, I was fulfilling orders until very late last night, trying to get everything packed up for you. So they should be on their way to you pretty soon. They're lovely, aren't they, Jane? Those
They're beautiful.
kilos of cork.
There's some really pretty designs in there.
A bit
Right.
special.
So you've got a strip set now of 10 colours.
And like we've got interest in the different textures as well. It's not just...
Yes, there's some nice textures of fabric in there. We're going to trim one end level straight. And I just do that, I just line it up, my horizontal line with my mat against one of the seam lines, just to make sure that that's nice and square. And then measure your strip set, and whatever height your strip set is, cut your strip set to that size.
Okay.
Mine has come out, it should be about 15 and a half. Mine's just under 15 and a half, probably got a wider seam allowance.
And that's the thing, isn't it? When we write these instructions, your seam allowance is the unknown factor.
So you're just going to cut that, because basically you're just making a square. That's what you're doing. So you want it to be the same width as it is high. Now you've got leftover piece there. From that piece you're going to cut a 2 inch strips. All the cutting instructions will be in the pattern. If you've got your stripology ruler, this will make very light work of doing this. Just put those 2 strips to one side. So this is your centre of your cushion, wall hanging. You might want to make it into just a wall hanging. You might want to quilt it and hang it like a picture.
Jane, that would go so beautifully.
So now you're just going to take the backing, the paper backing off your applique. Now don't try and flick it from the edge to try and get the backing off. It does work occasionally, but what is more likely to happen is you're going to fray your fabric. So go from the middle and just give it a scratch on the paper with your pin until your pin goes underneath the paper, and then go from the middle out. That way it's less likely to fray your fabric. And do the same with your hair.
Jane, I hate to say this, we only have 4 kits left.
Oh wow.
Of the hair.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mind you, when you put the post up at the weekend, there was a lot of people that were interested,
I
weren't
think
they?
people have been waiting. It's like with this, with the fat quarter frenzy. We didn't say what the fat quarter frenzy was, for people that don't know. So I had a great idea to just clear down some stock, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think Gemma thought it was such a great idea.
Gemma didn't think it was such a great idea. But we also have, occasionally we overprint patterns and things like that happen. So we have a big box of patterns, and we have a box of fat quarters that have come off the ends of things, or maybe it's just fabrics that are left over from projects, or whatever it is. For when you run a fabric shop, which effectively is what we are, you get bits of fabric left over.
Yes.
So what we've done is put 10 fat quarters. Now that is 5 designer and 5 plain with a pattern for $12.99. Now our patterns alone should be $7.99.
Yes.
Which then means that the fat quarters work out at being about 50p each, which is insane for designer fabrics. That should be about
2.5 metres of fabric at the end of the day.
Which is why it has been, that's gorgeous, so insanely popular. We are down to the last ones. They're a non-returnable item. What you get is what you get.
Yeah.
But you seem to
I
have
think
loved what you've
you'll
got
be very
so
pleased
far.
with what you get. So position your shapes on your square. Now remember, you've got a seam allowance, so don't be putting him right to the edge there, because you'll lose him in the seam allowance. I liked him sitting on top of the dark strip. You may want him a little bit higher on top of that one. Whatever you want to do, it's completely up to you. You make the decision about where you want everything, and then take it to your ironing board and press it, and this will release the adhesive on the other side of the fabric and set him in place. Bondweb isn't like steamer seam, because steamer seam stays tacky once you've taken the paper off, so you can reposition before you set with the heat and steam.
But you're not doing lots and lots of layers with this,
No,
are you?
and you don't need to really, because it's a very simple shape that you can just press. And he's there. I top stitched around mine with a straight stitch. Bondweb is a permanent adhesive, but over time does come loose, becomes adhered. So it's always a good idea to top stitch over. If you were using this as a wall hanging, you could get away with not top stitching it, because you're not going to be washing it sort of lots. You might wash it once or twice a year maybe, if that. So you can use a straight stitch, a buttonhole stitch, zigzag, satin stitch, whatever you prefer on your machine you can use. That's entirely up to you. You might want to stitch it by hand. Again, I know some of you don't like doing that, but some of you may like to do that. You may like to add a little bit more of embellishments around the grass area. You might want to add some flowers, embroidery, grasses. Again, you can embellish it as much as you like, make it your own.
Ooh!
You know, it's just giving you the basic and you can make it better.
Would the the adhesive flowers that we've got, would they be too big?
I think they might be, but
they could maybe go around the edge or something.
Yeah, you could maybe put them on the frame part so that they're just sort of coming in. You're going to get 2 strips of your fabric that you've used and you're going to place them either side and then stitch along the top and bottom. So we'll do that frame. It's just a lot of straight stitching really, there's not much. It's quite...
Sometimes it's nice, Jane, for a hot day, it's nice to have a lovely project. I am going to go and see...
Quite a quick make.
Are you going to find some of those flowers?
You could do a whole series of these, couldn't you, with different shaped hares. You could do different colours and have different animals. You know, this is something that we could explore a lot more. The future patterns maybe.
Last hit, says Gemma. What?
Oh dear, better be quick. You better be quick. So just press those away. That hasn't stitched. Run out of bobbin. Is it just not? So we're just going to press those away from the centre square.
This design is small but mighty, isn't it? It's doing all the jobs it needs to do.
Yeah, perfect. You do have to be careful because it does this part of it does get quite warm. So the handles there, so just take care. Like any iron, you've got to be careful, haven't you, because it's hot. And then you place your strips along the top and bottom and sew those on.
Oh, Celia's excited. She just ordered her pattern.
Fabulous.
It's exciting, isn't it? You know you've got a project that you're very excited to do coming your way.
Yes.
There go some very hot looking tree surgeons, Jane.
Are they just looking at the trees, doing a survey on them today?
They do surveys and then they make suggestions, tag whatever needs doing and what have you, and our landlord ignores it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does nothing. So yeah.
Well, at least they haven't actually got to do any sort of physical cutting down of trees today, then.
No.
Because that wouldn't be much fun, would it? Because it's warm enough for me just standing here sewing fabric strips together. Again, just check your measurements on your strip. I cut mine to the measurements I'd used when I was making mine. And of course, the seam allowance on this machine is slightly narrower, so I've just got mine a bit short, but that doesn't matter. So the two strips that we cut previously will go either side. Now, remember I said about cutting extra squares? You can either put an extra square on the bottom of the green. Oh, we're still on close-up.
Oh, sorry.
You've got
Jane
a
was
lovely
asking
picture
me
of
for
my
stuff.
shoulders.
It's all... because I've had to come away from it. There we go.
So we did cut those two strips from the leftover bit of the main square. Now you can either put a green square at the bottom, or you can move those down and put another blue square at the top. That's a decision that you can make. I quite liked it. It made it look like it was sort of a rolling hill. So I put an extra green. And because I'm me, I didn't want the same green next to it.
Of course it's you, Jane.
So I went the colour that was directly next to it. I've just had the rotary cutter, there it is. So you cut the squares to the size that you need. Well, they're the same size as the strips. And you sew those onto the bottom to make the strip, and you will attach that to each side. And that's the side joined on, so let's just do that.
Nice.
And we can attach those to each side.
Just the hair fabric that is limiting this.
Yes, I think it is actually.
So we could find something of a similar ilk.
We could, probably.
To make some more, because I'm just aware that everyone's loved it.
I'm sure we could. find something that would equally look as fabulous.
Even if it was a plain midnight.
Yes.
I still don't think blank.
No, midnight would be nice. I think we're waiting for the delivery of the...
It's due in today, yeah.
Yeah, so...
After the show, we'll see. Well, we could load some now, but just I think midnight will be the one. I just can't photograph it until that fabric comes in. When did it say it was going to come in? What time? Oh, one of the cottage cloth greens, Jane.
Yeah, I was going to say to Gemma, I had found another roll of that another bolt of that cottage cloth green when I was looking at
have you?
There was another open. I don't know why we've got two of the same, but we have.
Well, you know, sometimes that's just how we roll here, Jane.
That's just
Hence
what it
why
is.
sometimes we just have to.
I don't know that it is cottage cloth. I think it might be linen. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's the same difference. It would look the same. Beautiful. Right, so you've got your two side pieces. Now then.
I'm not on the right screen again, am I, Jane? Here we go. I'm busily looking at what we can do.
I said before about cutting your strip in half and then cutting the one half into quarters, cutting extra squares from your quarters. And so you'll have like quarter strips. They'll be about 10 inches by the width of your strip. Again, it doesn't matter if they're not all the same length. You're going to put them together in strip sets of the green. So 4 of the greens. And then I chose 5 of the blues. Cut 2 of your widths of strips. Just straighten one end off again.
Oh, I see. To go around the top.
To go around the top.
Now, Jane, if you were making this for you,
yes.
Would this be a wall hanging or a cushion?
It would be a wall hanging, but I probably would make 2. So I could have both. No, but yeah, I would have it as a wall hanging.
Yeah, but no, but.
Yeah, but no, but.
yeah, but no, but.
I would
Vicky
have it.
Pollard, Jane Alcock
I would have 2.
And you've got plenty of fabric to do that. Now.
I might make a bigger version.
Right, alright, just because you can.
Because I can.
So here's the thing. Jane has just produced, and Gemma's just nudged me and gone, you haven't told everybody about Jane's new guide to quilt binding, have you?
No.
This is on an introductory offer at the moment. We all know that Jane is our quilter queen. And so this is a lot of effort has gone into this with Gemma and Jane.
Mostly
it's
Gemma.
Like 19 pages, isn't it? Like
yeah.
It's a big tome. It's on an introductory price of $9.99. It should be $14.99.
Yeah, we've basically collated all of our binding instructions, haven't we, into one booklet.
Yeah. And it's epic.
And it's lovely. It's like a reference, isn't it? You can think, oh, how am I going to bind my quilt cushion today?
And then, so you could do this as a wall hanging. And then you could have a look through and choose which style of quilting, book binding
you would like.
And that's what it's there for. And remember, not just that, Jane, but our patterns are on a 3 for 2.
That's insane. Insane. Just saying, you're mad.
Just saying.
We love you dearly, but you're bonkers.
It's okay. I can cope with that. What are you doing?
I'm just cutting some extra squares. Because I said you need some extra squares.
Mm-hmm.
So, I might just cut some more of that next one as well. This one. Because we can have a play with the fabric placement now. Okay, so we've got 2 of our blue strips. There's five colours in each strip set. I'm going to take one of the light ones, unpick it, take it out, and I'll sew that back together.
Gemma has put up a version 2.
Yeah. Now, when I was doing mine, and those more vigilant of you may notice there's a seam in the middle of my pale blue, because I wanted to have it in the middle. And if you put the same amount either side, you've got too many squares. I think I did something, I can't remember what I did now. Anyway, so I cut it in the middle and sewed it back together, literally just to take the seam allowance out. But what you could do, because it's the moon and it's like a reflection of the moon, you could move it across so it's more above the moon, and add on the corner, or put another dark one in the corner, however you felt you wanted to do it.
Do you remember when we had that moon halo?
Yes. It's beautiful.
Sort of reminds me of that when you put it there.
Yeah. So again, this is you can do what you like really. You can move it across and have equal amount either side, but you may find it's a little bit long, in which case just cut it down the middle and sew it back together again. It just makes that middle strip narrower. And then for the bottom row, I cut 3 of my green strips. I think it worked out on my measurements that I needed 13 squares, I think, or I might have needed more. I can't remember now. It's all properly written in the instructions. Not making much sense, am I? It's the heat.
It's all right, Jane. It's all right. It looks good.
So you do 3 strips. Let's just move this kit out. And you'll have, now I just put these light to dark, light to dark, and then you'll need to add an extra either in that corner there or in this corner here. And I think I just chose to do one of the linear green and just have that extra square there. This is why I say to cut a few extra squares, and then that gives you the opportunity to just play around with your placement, your fabric placement. But once you're happy with your fabric placement, you can sew those together and then you add them to the top and bottom, and that is your cushion front. I did a simple yeah.
That's going in my downstairs toilet, Jane. Just
and
so you know.
Layer that up. I layered it up and quilted it. On my machine I've got a wavy stitch, which is what I used in the green. I just I did a little practice sandwich of the quilting, so just a little bit of scrap with a bit of wadding and a backing fabric, and I just played around with the stitch settings and the lengths to get quite a shallow curve.
So I find this interesting, you with your many years experience, which is amazing given how youthful and young you are.
It's flattery.
Still experiment with your stitch length.
Yeah.
And have a little practice before you go in.
Yeah. I do that with all my quilting actually. When I do, yeah, not my straight lines so much now, but because my machine's a good trustworthy machine and I know the settings. But if I'm doing like free motion quilting or anything like that, I'll make myself a little scrap sandwich and practice on that first before I actually go to the main quilt.
Do you think that you will ever quilt for people?
I don't know. I don't know whether my confidence is... I think I need a lot more practice on my long arm anyway to do it for other people.
Every time you bring us the most beautiful, beautifully long-armed quilted quilts. For those of you that enjoyed the sample set, by the way, you will see this. And I was packing some up yesterday, and just the little details on some. Like on the back of one of the cushions, you'd done in a variegated thread a flower. And it matched all the bright sparkly colours on the front. And it's just like those little details that you don't always see on a show. You know we're not going to see on a show.
No,
and
this is true. I still do it. Yes.
I love, and that's what's so special about you. So if you have made the most of our
Very
sample,
special.
No, but it's lovely.
No, but because I enjoy what I do, I always have that little bit extra because I like doing it.
Jane is a little bit extra.
I'm a little bit extra.
Is that what we're saying?
I mean, you can trim these down, can't you? So you could take the
yeah.
leaf off and place it behind, should you wish to. Take
It
those
certainly
leaves,
gives it a summery feel, doesn't it?
You can do them in the corners.
I don't know if we've got these loaded individually. They were in one of the kits the other day.
Little packs, weren't they?
Load. They're adhesive. They
iron on, so
yeah,
you can just put them where you like.
They're very, very useful. Gosh, doesn't that give that a different look? I rather like that.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
This is why I say you can make it your own. I mean, if you love hand stitching, Chris Creswell, she's very good. She makes beautiful hand stitched things. You could do embroidered leaves and flowers on here, grasses. You know, you're limited, aren't you, by your imagination at the end of the day, or the time that you have to do things. So there's lots of potential with this to make it your own. Just add a little bit of extra detail to it. If you wanted to, you could make the borders wider.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you've got enough fabric to do that. You could make them wider again. So I've done it as a frame around because I was making a cushion. But if you wanted to make it as a wall hanging, you could make them wider. It's up to you.
Yeah. I just think he's lovely. I heart him, Jane.
He is beautiful. He is beautiful.
And you did. I'll tell you what I was thinking about the halo, because you did some circular stitches round.
Yeah, well, I just embellished it with my quilting.
Should we take it down so
really.
we can see? So we can see.
Because you can do that when you're doing your quilting. You can do that with your fabrics. When we did the block of the month, the calendar quilt, we had sparkly thread that was with the January block.
Have we got any of that left?
I think there's a few reels left.
Oh no, maybe we should make those.
So I used that. Now, metallic thread is quite difficult to... Not difficult, it's not difficult, that's the wrong word to use. You just have to treat it differently. So you need to use a metallic needle and you need to loosen your tension.
Okay.
Just because it's a different type of thread, it's
But you could
the metallic. Yeah, the metallic is wound around a nylon thread.
Right.
So as your needle goes up and down, it tends to wear it, so it snaps.
Okay.
It's just one of the things that happens with metallic thread in a machine. But yeah, if you do it by hand, you don't get any problems with it at all. You can see the little wavy stitch I've used. I sewed around the shape of the hare. I did a wavy stitch in the green bit, and I did this little around the moon. Not completely around as I got out, so like just a few bits. And then in the ditch around the main frame. And that's the quilting I did on that. But again, you could do more. You could do cloud shapes and whatever you wanted to do. Whatever you wanted to do.
Which would suit Nimbus.
Yes.
We have a rabbit called Nimbus, who is super fluffy, isn't he?
Yes, he's beautiful. He's like a little cloud.
And then there's everyone to Nimbus.
Butterscotch pudding. Is it butterscotch pudding?
Butterscotch Angel Delight.
Angel Delight,
Bad,
yes.
for sure. He's not bad.
He's
a
not
good
bad,
boy.
he's beautiful.
Shall I show it? Shall I go and get
Yes.
it?
We need a bunny
I'll just
attack.
get Nimbus. Just because you were talking about clouds.
Yes.
And we do have bunny attacks, don't we?
We have a bunny attack in the morning. The children bring them in and attack us with the beautiful bunnies, which don't attack us at all. We just get lots of snuggly cuddles with them because they're cute. So yeah, you're just on this. You're limited. Like you can see, I've done just a simple envelope back on the back of here. You could do a bound edge if you wanted to. Again, entirely up to you. You might want to do a zip back finish. Again, we've got instructions for different finishes for cushions. Cushions finishing with flair, so they're up there for you to choose should you wish. Look at him, he's going so big.
This is Nimbus, everybody.
He's got sawdust in his fluff.
He doesn't look real, does he?
No, it's like a toy.
Reuben woke Josh up. I was in Cornwall this weekend, and Reuben woke Josh up, barking at a deer, and he came down. He's like, just floofing the bunnies, and that's what we do. We're mad here, aren't we?
They're just so cute.
He's got a little
Look
bit
at
of.
a fluffy cloud.
He's not allowed out until he's had all his jabs.
No.
We're not making that mistake again. But he is. He's a lion mane. Look at his little ears.
And butterscotch is a lovely sort of peachy
Sandy,
colour.
yeah, sandy peach colour. But yeah, here he is. He's grown so much though, hasn't
I'm going to say it's like twice the size he was when he first arrived. He's so beautiful.
Oh, we love them. We love them. We're not ridiculous here, honest.
It's part of the job spec, you see. If you want to work here, you have to like animals.
Gosh, could you imagine if you didn't like animals? It would be
Yeah.
the job from hell, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Absolute job from hell.
Yeah.
This is
Particularly when you have to get the
gorgeous.
cat off the conservatory roof, when really he doesn't need rescuing off the conservatory roof, but he just tells you fibs.
Well, and he doesn't like being touched.
No,
Which, I mean, there was a lot going there.
but he let me lift him off, which is amazing because he doesn't like being picked up, but he didn't want to be up there, and I don't know why he thought he couldn't get
How
down.
he got up there?
I wondered if he'd gone through one of the bedroom windows, but
Oh, possibly. Anyway,
or
there we
whether
go.
he was just telling me fibs.
Most likely.
Yeah.
What's the
He's
easiest
got
way?
me wrapped around his fingers.
Oh, he has.
Yeah,
He has his
little
hobbit
paws.
breakfast with you.
Yeah,
Like Jane, he's already had a breakfast.
yeah.
No, he's having another one.
He's starving, poor cat. You know, he's wasting away before our very eyes.
I feel like this is show and tell today. And this is my rabbit. Took my rabbit to work today.
Yeah.
I haven't shown everybody the ducklings yet. Cracky Chan and Duck Norris.
They're so
are doing
cute.
well.
They're so cute.
We've turned the heat lamp off. They do not need their heat lamp
No,
on.
not today.
Not in this weather. Nah.
No.
So yeah, that's how we roll here. It's all a bit mad. So thank you ever so much for watching. I'm going to be with you tomorrow.
You know what you're making yet?
I have an idea. I just need to make it happen.
And you will.
We'll make it happen.
Make it
Thank you ever so much for joining us today. Take care. Have a lovely rest of your day. And we will see you here tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Grab the last of those Fat Quarter Frenzies.
Yes, don't miss out.
No, because that will be it then.
You'll have serious FOMO if you miss out.
People have I've seen names come back like multiple times. And yeah, everyone's been really lovely about them. So thank you ever so much. We will see you tomorrow. Take care. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Yeah, I had a look about the silver thread earlier.
We got some. Yeah. Oh, cool. We can note that then.
Because it sort of came to my mind.